सदाशिवसमारम्भाम् शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ताम् वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तन्न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः। Yeah, you may want to send a message in the WhatsApp group that we are having a class. Just to confirm that we are having it. Okay. Let me know if you are ready to chant. I'm not able to see a gallery here.
Haraprasad ji, can you chant?
He is muted.
From where, Narayan?
Yeah,
we can.
I didn't get you.
11th chapter.
11th chapter.
Okay. Whereabouts? From the
Guruji
beginning?
will tell you. Guruji
Guruji will mention.
Okay.
Yeah, number 50.
50.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Sanjaya Uvacha.
Ityarjunam Vasudevastathoktva.
Ityarjunam Vasudevastathoktva.
Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha.
Swakam Rupam Darshayamasa Bhuyaha.
Ashvasayamasa cha bhitamenam.
Ashvasayamasa cha bhitamenam.
Bhutva punas saumya vapur mahatma.
Bhutva punas saumya vapurma atma.
Arjuna Uvacha.
Arjuna Vacha.
Drishtvedam manusham rupam.
Drushtvedam manusham rupam.
Tava saumyam janardana.
Tava saumyam janardana.
Idanimasmi samvrittaha.
Idanimasmi samvrittaha.
Sachetah prakritim gataha.
Sachetah prakritim gataha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha.
Sudurdarshamidam rupam.
Sudurdarsha midam rupam.
Drishtavanasi yanmama.
Drishtavanasi yanmama.
Deva apyasya rupasya.
Deva Satyasya Rupasya.
Nityam Darshanakankshinah.
Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha.
Naham Vedairna Tapasa.
Naham Vedairna Tapasa.
Na Danena na Chejyaya.
Na Danena na Chejyaya.
Shakya Evam Vidho Drashtum.
Shakya Evam Vidho Drashtum.
Drashtavanasi Mam Yatha.
Drashtavanasi Mam Yatha.
So it should be Drishtavanasi Mam Yatha.
Drashtavanasi Mam Yatha.
Bhaktya Swananyaya Shakyaha.
Bhaktya Vananyaya Shakyaha.
Ahamevam Vidhorjuna.
Ahamevam Vidhorjuna.
Jnatum Drashtum cha Tatvena.
Vyatum Drashtum cha Tatvena.
Praveshtum cha Parantapa.
Praveshtum cha Parantapa.
Yeah, so I think this is where we were. So in 53, Bhagavan Sri Krishna said once again that aham vedaihi na tapasa na danena na chaijyaya. So this kind of Vishwarupa Drishti, it is not possible to get by any of the means that we know of, the typical means we know of. And you have seen that. Okay, so Bhagavan is saying that. And but then in 54, he begins to say, Tu ananyaya bhaktya. On the other hand, if there is bhakti for me, ananyaya bhaktya. This is the idea we were trying to unfold last time. So bhakti, all of us have bhakti right from childhood, and it is natural to have in a culture which is religious. If you are born and brought up in a culture which is religious, and of course, assuming family, there are some exceptions are there, no doubt, but that culture will automatically give us the bhakti, and that bhakti is called artha bhakti or artharthi bhakti. So go back to chaturvidha bhajante mam. So artha jignasuhu artharthi and jnani was said by Krishna. And so here we have to bring that. And we can put artha bhakti bhaktaha or artha bhakti and artharthi bhakti in the same category. It is a bhakti where I want God, I want Ishvara to help me accomplish what I want. And what do I want? Arthaha, kamaha, and after some maturity, dharmaha. These three is all I want. And for that, Bhagavan becomes a sadhanam. Sadhanam. So this is that kind of bhakti where Bhagavan is a sadhanam or God is means. Okay? That is the way we look at it. And then here Bhagavan is saying Ananyaya Bhaktya. So Ananyaya, Ananya. We saw this earlier in Kathopanishad, we saw this. Ananya Prokte Gatiritra Nasti. So here, Bhagavan is saying, this meaning is slightly different here. Bhagavan is my goal. It is not a means anymore. This is this like kind of life is, once one has analyzed this kind of life, then it becomes obvious to that person that we saw all these things. This karma phalam, okay, karma phalam is of four types: apyam, utpadyam, samskaryam, vikaryam. These are the only four types of karma phalam possible. And karma phalam always, any karma phalam has these three attributes. What is this? Dukkha mishritatvam. Always combined with something. Some dukkha will be there. Ananda will be there, but immediately dukkha. And how is it possible? We don't know. It's always mixed up like that. And then atripti karatvam. I got it, but it's all, tripti is not there. Complete ananda is not there. And something always seems to be missing. So atripti karatvam. And then what? Bandha karatvam. Atripti will always be there. So yesterday flying to Delhi. So I was supposed to land in Delhi. He tried to land in Delhi, then he couldn't land. He took off, and then I suddenly saw the flight is just taking off somewhere. The altitude should reduce. Landing means altitude should reduce. But after some time, the altitude is going up, and I saw, oh, okay, so he's taking off. He's going in a different direction. Plans have changed. I just assumed, and after 10 minutes, they made an announcement that because of storms in Delhi, we're going to land in Lucknow. So I got a free ride to Lucknow yesterday. And so something will be there. So aage piche is called atripti karatvam. So on the way back, when we came to Delhi, there's a couple of, one boy and girl were there. So I asked him, hey, you got a free ride to Lucknow? His boy said, yes, I got a free ride. See, he's looking at it differently. I looked at it differently. So yeah, okay. And then the girl next to her, she was saying, you know what? We got two things free. One landing was free, one takeoff also was free, it seems. So I said, wow, this is amazing. How come we always get two things free like that? Oh, that's how it is. With flights, is always like that, it seems. So she seems to be, they took it in a stride. They didn't have any problems. And so all these things are there. Tripti Karatvam will always be there. And therefore, having analyzed that Purushaha, Parikshalokan, Purusha says Bhagavan is the Sadhya Vastu. Sadhyam, technical word here, Sadhyam. Sadhya means what is to be accomplished is called Sadhyam. Is there a way I can see no, I'm just looking at myself and it's very odd. 1 second.
You can just slide to the next one. You'll see 4 people at least.
Oh, wait, slide. Okay. I didn't know the sliding this. Okay. Oh, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 people are there. Nice. And that's all. I cannot see. Oh, I can.
You can go further also. You can keep
scrolling.
Yeah. I can go further. Okay. Right. Now I can see. All right. So I'm not used to talk. It's very difficult to just look at yourself and talk. I can look at the wall and talk. I've done it a lot, but looking at myself and talking is a bit odd. So anyway, so this is this. Bhagavan is Sadhyam, and therefore he is next. Okay, Mam Drashtavan Asi, he said in 53. Several times before also we've seen Mam Eti, and that person gains me, etc. So here he's introducing the word bhakti, ananyaya bhaktya, aham drashtum shakyaha. Okay. What will you get by Ananya Bhakti? Ananya Bhakti means what? There is nothing other than Ishvara, and therefore my goal is Bhagavan. Next step is there to go also. What is the next step? I want to reach Bhagavan, but that Bhagavan is not separate from me. Therefore, reaching Bhagavan, wanting Bhagavan should be converted to knowing Bhagavan as myself. Correct? It's a gradual, nice process, and that will happen. And so, that process is not meant by this Ananyaya Bhaktya. Okay. So, here it is meant Bhagavan is Sadhya Vastu, Sadhyam, to be gained. And Artha, Kama, and dharma are were gained before, but everything is sustained by Bhagavan, and everything is Bhagavan, and therefore my goal must be Bhagavan. And one particular thing, all these artha and kama is really cannot be my goal. Like that awareness comes. And so what happens with that Ananyaya Bhaktya? Aham drashtum shakyah. Aham drashtum shakyah. Aham jnatum cha shakyah. Very interesting words he's using. Aham drashtum shakyah means only by this kind of bhakti, my Vishwarupa darshanam is possible to be seen. Right? Drashtum, literal meaning of drashtum is can be seen, possible to be seen. Okay. Then jnatum cha shakyah. Jnatum. Jnatum is possible to be known. Now is introducing that. Possible to be known. Correct? And so it is not simply going and sitting somewhere or seeing and shaking hands with Bhagavan. Jnatum cha. I have to be known. So this is what Puju Swamiji in the first class I heard ever in 96, he used to say, Hindus don't simply believe in God, we know God. That is what he used to say. That's what Krishna is saying here. And Jnatum, Bhaktya, that bhakti is needed. So then Jnatum cha. And what? Katham Jnatum? Tatvena Jnatum. Okay. How can I know Bhagavan? Tatvena. Now, Tatvena. As I should be understood. As I should be understood. Okay. Which means I may have to give up some of the ideas of God I have in the past. Okay. And therefore, one has to find out what is this God. That question has to arise. The desire to know God has to arise. Correct? All that should be there. And then only tattvam, tattveda, my true nature. Somewhere we saw in the 7th chapter, I think, Jnanam Teham Savijnanam, chapter as a shloka number 2. Okay, beginning of the second shatka, right? We are close to finishing the second shatka. Beginning, he says, Maya Saktamana Partha Yogam Yunjan Madashrayaha Asamshayam Samagram Mam Yatha Jnasasi Tachrunu. Samagram Mam. You will know me completely. And therefore, what I'm going to do? Jnanam Teham Savijnanam. So, there we saw Jnanam would have been enough, but he's saying Jnanam Teham Savijnanam. Jnanam of Ishvara is there, but then Savijnanam means that the Ishvara is not different from me. Is what is going to complete my journey. It's what is going to give it completion. Otherwise, knowing that there is a God, but still I am struggling here means it is not useful. That is not useful. And so there has to be some kind of finality. And so there we saw that jnanam teham savijnanam. So that can be brought in here. Jnatum tatvena jnatum. Savijnanena jnatum. Okay, which means the another 6 chapters must be there. And tatvena jnatum shakyah. That is the way to do the anmaya here. Tatvena Jnatum Shakyaha, Drashtum Cha Shakyaha. Shakyaha means able to, possible to. Then Praveshtum Cha Parantapa. Praveshtum. Praveshaha. Okay, Pravishati means enters. Enters. This is where you get the famous statements. The jiva is merging into Bhagavan. So this whole idea of yoga, they say yoga means what? The jiva and Ishvara are merging. Something is happening. Some activity is going on where the jiva is entering. Now is Ishvara entering jiva or jiva entering Ishvara? Come on, don't joke like this. Jiva is a small speck, and Ishvara is this is there all over. And so Ishvara cannot enter me. I have to enter Ishvara's world. Therefore, praveshtum, very interesting word. Praveshtum cha, hey Parantapa. One is able to merge with Ishvara. Okay, enter into the world of Ishvara. Like that, people translate this word. So how should we understand it? Well, the whole Dvaita Buddhi that I have is because of my superimposition. There is Sarvam Kalvidam Brahma. When everything is one, how can there be many? Okay, if that question arises, then okay, the manyness is really created by me only. There is really no manyness. There is no multiplicity. Therefore, this notion of division is a notion. Notion means what? It's an idea that cannot be proved by any of us. That cannot be proved by any of us. You can't say, see, you really can't say, see, see. There is I don't know if you can see this, but there is a bottle. Okay, there's a bottle of water. This is called the Lalit. That is the name of this hotel. They have kept a bottle of water. And then there is a glass also. Glass is different, bottle is different. Whatever bottle and water, better be different, because if I pour, water has to come out. So so water and bottle must be different. Everything is different. Everything is different. But even the physicist will tell you, hey, this bottle is a bunch of atoms. Water is the same atoms. Same atoms. Why same atoms? Because even though some bottle has some carbon, etc., water has no carbon, only hydrogen and oxygen. But still, they will drive it down to electrons and protons and say, you know what? This bottle is electrons and protons. Water is electrons and protons and neutrons. Glass also same thing. What about the space that separates these two? That also is the same electrons, protons, neutrons. So the physicist himself will say, I don't see any boundary. This boundary is an artificial boundary. Acceptable boundary, but artificial boundary. Workable boundary, but artificial. Okay. Some solid, liquid, and all you can talk about. So, therefore, there is really no way we can. So, that's idea of separation, which separates me from everybody else, everything else, and which separates me from Bhagavan. Okay. It goes away. This is called praveshtum. Praveshtum. When the separation goes away, then what? Then entered, as it were. Entered, as it were, in quotes. Okay, that is the way to look at this one. He Parantapa. He Paran Shatrun Tapayati. Paran Shatrun Tapayati. You have the ability to scare all your enemies. Tapayati. You give distress to all your enemies. That's the meaning of Tapayati. Give distress. So there are some people in India who give distress to Dushta Purushaha, okay, like Yogi Adityanath and all that. The people surrender in that state. Now the mafia people are surrendering to the state. We've never heard of it like this before. Even in America, we've not heard. But in India, that's happening. And so like that, Paran Shatrun Tapayati, he comes to my mind when I think of the word Parantapa and Arjuna. So that's why Arjuna never had the fear of the war. The fear he never had, right? You all know that. He was not, he had some confusion, and so that's what stopped him from entering the war up front. So praveshtam, this entering is a very important word. And it, because of the way it is not, when it's not understood, then they will say things like enter the kingdom of God, etc. So it has to be properly understood. Kingdom of God, you see that in the Bible and all, you see it. Enter the kingdom of God. And so not understood properly, it will become what? It will be an apya vishaya, correct? One of the results of karma, one of the types of karma phalam is apyam, reaching a place. Enter the kingdom of God. Kingdom of God is not here, it is there somewhere else. So I will go to heaven. So it keeping that karma phalam view, the praveshtum also is understood and translated. And thanks to all this Disney and all these things that we have been to, once we are all able to imagine. Disney World itself is so exciting. The children are just waiting to run. You have to buy the ticket, and then the guy will look at your ticket, and then he'll enter. You enter through the gates. After that, that's it. Kids are saying, "We'll take care of ourselves," you know. So you imagine all these things somehow. Anyway, so that is this shloka. Let's translate it. I'm still audible, no?
Yes, Guru.
Yeah. But with devotion, comma, in which there is no other, no other means what? There is nothing other than Ishvara, which is correct. I still don't know the relationship between me and Ishvara yet. Correct? Still don't know completely the relationship, but there's nothing other than Ishvara is correct. Many all religious people in India know it as a they accept it because that is what our Shastram says. Okay, but with devotion in which there is no other, it is possible, O Arjuna. This is Pujya Swamiji's translation. It is possible, O Arjuna, that I can be known and seen and can be entered into. That I can be known and seen and can be entered into in reality. O scorcher of enemies. Full stop. Okay. But with devotion, comma, in which there is no other, comma, it is possible, comma, O Arjuna, that I can be known and seen and can be entered into in reality, O scorcher of enemies. Yeah. Now we come to the last shloka. Matkar mat paramaha
Matkarma krinmatparamaha
madbhakta sangavarjitaha
madbhakta sangavarjitaha
Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu.
Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu.
There must be a doubling of the sakara. Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu.
Nirvaira sarvabhuteshu.
Yassamameti pandava.
Yasamameti pandava.
Matkarma krinmat paramaha.
Matkarma krinmat paramaha.
Madbhaktas sangavarjitaha.
Madbhaktas sangavarjitaha.
Nirvairas sarvabhuteshu.
Nirvairas sarvabhuteshu.
Yassamameti pandava.
Yasamameti pandava.
So this is what Swamiji calls seed mantra. Seed mantra. Seed means what? It is a seed for the next chapter. Next chapter. Because bhakti again was mentioned in the previous shloka. Now, if naham vedairna tapasa na danena che ijjaya, if that is what is true, then how can I know you? How can I see you? Okay, I've seen you, but I'm now not seeing you also. And so then he's going to, it's an answer in capsule form. Mat karma krit mat paramaha mad bhaktaha sangavarchitaha nirvairaha sarva bhuteshu. So 4 attributes he's giving that are needed for a person who will quote unquote gain Bhagavan, okay, which will be elaborated in the next chapter. And what Bhagavan is going to say is, bhakti is not one sadhanam. It is not just one particular means. It is a range of sadhanas. It is a range of sadhanas, and which includes karma yoga, which includes dhyana yoga, which includes jnana yoga also. In other words, everything that we are going to have studied so far will all be put in this name called bhakti yoga. Okay, so that's the we can expect that as we study this shloka. And so let's look at the first, before going to the actual words, the 3 types of bhakti. First, in the next chapter, it will become 5 types, but let's talk about 3 types of bhakti. One is karma yoga bhakti, karma lakshana bhakti, or karma rupa bhakti. Means a bhakti which is expressed through actions. Very simple. Bhakti which is expressed through actions, right? How do we express love with our friends and family? Well, love is expressed by giving only. By actions only love is expressed. So that's why we have to say happy birthday. We can't say I thought of you. Simply thought is not enough. Some action is required. And so that karma lakshana bhakti, which we know as karma yoga. Karma yoga. So that attitude is there. What is the attitude? The Ishwararpana buddhi and prasada buddhi. Okay, these 2 we have studied before. And so in the 2nd chapter it was introduced, and of course 3rd chapter is called karma yoga, that also was introduced. And so yeah, so again, just to elaborate a little bit, I am a karta. I don't know that I am a karta. I know, it's very obvious I am a karta. Until Bhagavad Gita tells me I have taken myself to be karta, until then it was never a question for me. But kartrutvam is there. and I do something in order to get something. Getting something means I will become a bhokta. I kartrutvam transforms into bhoktrutvam. Correct? I want something, and therefore I become a bhokta. But in order to be a bhokta, I must be a karta. This is what happens. Kartrutvam bhokta. So यहाँ पे कर्म yoga buddhi is what? As a karta, I have ishwararpana buddhi. Whatever I do, I just offer it. I just offer it to Bhagavan. And sometimes that is difficult. Prasada buddhi is easier. Whatever comes, you accept it as a prasada. Okay. So sometimes prasada buddhi is easier. Ishwararpana buddhi, many people, names we say, I did it, but I never thought of it as an offering. Okay, that also happens. But karma yoga buddhi is that Ishwararpana buddhi. As a karta, I have Ishwararpana buddhi. As a bhokta, I have prasada buddhi. Okay, and so suppose you ask, how do we know karma yoga involves bhakti? How do you know karma yoga involves bhakti? It is quite obvious it involves bhakti. Without bhakti, karma yoga is not possible. Because arpana buddhi, where is the question of arpana buddhi? Ishwararpana buddhi. Ishvara must be there. ईश्वर तो रहना चाहिए. Devudu is there, Kadavul is there. There is a starting point. And so that bhakti, at least limited bhakti must be there. Otherwise, Ishwararpana the buddhi is not possible. And of course, prasada buddhi. Where is the question of prasada when I don't have Ishvara in my life? Correct? Where is the question of prasada? Prasada is a meaningless word, really speaks. If I don't take Ishvara into account, correct? Prasadam, just even to take a prasadam in our own hand and then do like this, it implies that vision is already there, correct? Vision of Ishvara is there already. That is why somebody doesn't believe in all this, they say, I don't believe in all this. They can't do, you can't just take prasadam and take it to your eyes. It's not possible because that buddhi is not there. Okay, unless there is some mechanically something is being done. Okay, so this is karma yoga bhakti or karma lakshana bhakti. Okay, that's why we say these are all not really separate things. We try to separate initially, but finally it is all connected with each other. Then you have dhyana rupa bhakti or upasana rupa bhakti. Because externally you don't see any action happening in dhyanam. Therefore, even though dhyanam is an action, it is always separated out sometimes just because that external physical action is not visible to the naked eye. Therefore, upasana rupa bhakti is there. And but the big difference is the karma yogi is also extroverted. Extroverted means what? Dynamic, getting things, doing things, getting things. That's a type of attitude for a karma yogi also. But then the dhyanam is meant. Who can do dhyanam? Only the person who has some idea of this vision can really do dhyanam with the goal of yassa mameti is going to be said here, and only with that idea, our dhyanam is meant for that. Dhyanam can give me peace of mind and all is there. That is okay. That is anitya peace of mind. So we are not talking about that kind of dhyanam here. And, that anybody can do. Whether the person believes in God or not, still dhyanam that anybody can do. That'll be a different kind of meditation. We are not talking about that. And so here, dhyanam. And so then in the dhyanam again, one has to visualize Bhagavan. Without visualizing Bhagavan, you can't do dhyanam. So that's why Shantakaram, Bhujagashayanam, Padmanabham, Suresh. These are all called Dhyana Shlokas. Our Gita Dhyana Shloka, Parthaya Pratibodhitam. We're supposed to visualize that. Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam. So we visualize the chariot, visualize the horses, and then Arjuna is doing Namaskara to Krishna. All this beautiful visualization. And you do it, then Vyasa is brought in, Ganesha is brought in, everything is there in this Dhyana Shloka. Okay. Sarvopanishado Gavaha. Then you bring in Upanishads as the cows. Like that, it is meant for visualization. Dhyana Shloka is meant for visualization. I mean, it's all true, and therefore that truth is visualized. Okay. And so, but the extroverted mind cannot do the visualization. The one who has pravritti pradhana jiva, right? It's hard for that such a person to meditate, visualize all these things. Very difficult. If a person can visualize for a length of time, that means the person has the ability to just let go of everything for a while at least, correct? For a while at least, and then come back and to this dhyanam or upasana. Okay, then upasanam also bhakti. So this is what upasana rupa bhakti or upasana lakshana bhakti or dhyana rupa bhakti or dhyana lakshana bhakti. Okay, second type. Then third and the last would be what? Jnana rupa bhakti. Okay, Jnana rupa bhakti. So bhakti which culminates in knowledge. Okay, and a bhakti which continues to be there. Chaturvida bhajante mam jana sukritino arjuna artho jignasurartharthi jnani cha bharata rishabha. Okay, so now we are getting into karma yoga and upasana yoga, means mumukshitvam is already there. Okay, and artha also has bhakti. Artha need not be a karma yogi. Okay, we can add an artha bhakti there, but artha bhakti is not talked about here. Karma yoga bhakti, then upasana bhakti, jnana rupa bhakti. And why jnana rupa bhakti? Because only jnanam can remove this ajnanam. Okay, karma itself is based on ajnanam only. So ajnanam, janma, ragadvesha, kama, karma, karma phalam, etc. We know this cycle, and so that cycle can only be broken by jnanam. So jnana rupa bhakti, which involves shravanam, mananam, nididhyasanam. We can bring in all these things, and so now he's going to say mat karma krit. With that background, okay, this is the background. And so this is three types we have broken, and next chapter onwards, next chapter we'll see it. Bhagavan will allow us the chance to look at it in 5 different ways, but these are the main categories. So now he's saying mat karma krit. Mat karma krit. The one who does things for my sake. That is a literal translation. For me. That is a literal translation. Mat karma krit. Which means Ishwararpana buddhya. Okay? My sake. See, often we hear these words. Please do it for God's sake. That God's sake comes from this mat karma krit only. Really speak. Correct? Mat karma krit, for God's sake. So somebody can ask the question, does God need my help? Okay. What will happen if I don't do for God's sake? Will God be somehow upset with me or etc.? So as a child, we may grow up, do it for God's sake, they say. But we know now that do it for God's sake does not mean God is expecting something from me. God is not an entity that is expecting something from me. Do it for God's sake means what? Hey, it's Ishwararpana Buddhi. Develop your own Ishwararpana Buddhi. Everything is given. There's nothing I've created. And so, mat karma krit, That kind of bhavaha one has. Okay. And so as a karta, same thing, karma yoga only. As a karta, yat yat karma karomi, tattad akhilam, shambho tava aradhanam. Whatever I do, I offer it to you. We have mantras every day, we chant this. Kayena manasa vacha. Kayena manasa, Kayena vacha manasendreva, buddhyatmana va prakrite swabhavat. Very interesting shloka it is. Karomi yadyat sakalam parasmai narayanayeti samarpaya. Every day we chant it. And so that is Ishwarpana Buddhi. And in fact, see, we chant it when we do Sandhya Vandana. But it can be chanted anytime. Anytime you're doing something. And Kayena Vacha Manasendriyaiva. So Kayena means with the body. Vacha means if I'm speaking, if I'm doing something using my vocal cords, vocal apparatus. Kayena Vacha Manasa Indriyaiva. Manasava. Manas is of course being used. So I take just 10 seconds to chant this. Indriyaiva, of course, I'm going to use all my sense organs and organs of action. Buddhyatmanava, this thing continues. Buddhi Atmanava. Buddhyatmana means I'm going to make some decisions now. I will be asked to make decisions and I am going to make decisions. I know. Even if I have to cook something, I have to decide what to cook. Everything, all small decisions, big decisions, I'm going to take. Buddhyatmanava prakritehe swabhavat karomi yadyat. Prakritehe means what? There are things I will do without thinking also. Like I'm driving a car, I'm not going to think whether I should press the brake or the accelerator. We don't think at all. It happens just automatically. Prakritehe swabhavat. There are things we do in our kitchen or in our home, we don't think at all. The mind is not, it's just there. I'm just little bit of mental activity is there. Correct? And so the prakritehe swabhava. And therefore, it is possible for me to do a mistake. Because I'm conditioned to do certain things, say certain things in certain occasions. So therefore, prakriti also is brought in here. Very interesting. Anyway, that is what that entire thing is. Ishwarpana Buddhi Shloka it is. And if you don't know, I think it's worth learning and let us know. We can definitely. Then the Narayanayeti Samarpayami. That is how the shloka ends. Karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai. Whatever I do, yat yat karomi yat yat sakalam parasmai Narayanaya. Means the all-pervasive Narayana. Samarpayami. I give it to Narayana. Like that it says. So that mantra, it's nice to recall it periodically. And then you do something, you're going on a trip, say it. Okay. See, this mantra, normally it is said at the end of the Sandhya Vandanam. When we finish the Sandhya Vandanam, we say it. But here, when we start something, to invoke the Ishwararpana Buddhi, I think we should say it right up front. Not in this mantra I'm talking, in general I mean. Okay. So that we can recall the essence of this mantra. Samarpayami. Then you do that and then you go all the way. Fearlessly do what you have to do. Okay. That's how I used to think of it. And this mantra was given in third chapter also. If you want to make a note, 3.30, 30th shloka of the third chapter. If you see, that is the capsule shloka for Karma Yoga. Mayi sarvani karmani sanyasyadhyatma chetasa. Like that you will see. Nirashir nirmamo bhutva yudhyasva vigata jwaraha. Like that you will see that. So mayi sarvani karmani sanyasya. Offer all your actions to me. Like that already Krishna had said. Correct? Sanyasya. So that Ishwararpana Buddhi is there. And then, so this mat karma krit includes both giving actions as well as accepting. The prasada buddhi also is included here. So sukhadukke same kritva labha labho jaya jayo. The second chapter we saw. And yogastah kuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya. Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva. Siddhya Siddhyo Samo Bhutva is impossible without Ishvara Drishti. It is just impossible. How can you take loss and profit as equal? Loss and profit are two different things. That's why you have two nice words, loss and opposite of loss is profit. Okay. And they can't be equal. They're not equal. In fact, it's stupid to consider both of them are equal. You go to the worker for a company and they say loss and profit. Krishna has told us to take it equal. The boss cannot handle these kinds of statements. And this guy is more trouble than anything else. He's studying Gita and telling us he's telling loss and profit are equal. So no, loss and profit are not equal. But samobhuta. So they are not equal. Because they are not equal, and because you don't have any control over what happens, learn to accept. May my response be similar. It is not said loss and profit are similar. The Krishna is not saying that. Samo bhutva, the mental state, that is what we are talking about. Learn to accept it. Yeah, correct. This time, due to pandemic, my business is tanking. I don't like it at all. But accept the fact that this is possible and think about what to do next. And the more upset I am, the worse my response is going to be. The next step and all, I'm not going to be able to decide properly. The more cheerful I am, difficult to be cheerful, but the more cheer I can bring into it, the easier it will be. That's what. So, siddhya siddhyo. So, samatvam yoga uchyate. That's what he's saying. And so, this is the mat karma krita. Then mad bhaktaha. Okay, mad bhaktaha. Mama bhaktaha. Mad bhaktaha. Be a devotee. And we are changing the order here a bit. Mat karma krita, then mad bhaktaha. And so we know that be a devotee. Simple translations. Be a devotee. If I am unable to invoke devotion, take your time. Swamiji says, take your time. No rush. There is no rush here at all. And do everything properly. Follow dharma. And then slowly there will be a time when I'll recognize the limitations of what I'm getting, what I'm doing, etc. I know the goal, I have to challenge myself and say, no, this is not acceptable to me. This is not at all challenging. I need a bigger challenge. I need a bigger challenge. And that is Nitya Vastu I want. This Anitya Vastu is okay. Now I got a hang of it. There's nothing great about this anymore. And on top of that, Krishna is saying you will get another chance. Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam. Everything is going to happen. So, okay, what is over? Game is over. What I can't put this in my resume also. I feel so. I need a challenge, bigger challenge. Okay. And so, then at the same time, I will say, I'm not going to lean on any of these things. I can't lean on an Anitya Vastu. I can't lean on a pillar that is shaking. And both of us will fall. And so, if at all I have to lean, I must learn to lean on Ishvara, on Bhagavan. Like that, Mad Bhaktaha Bhava. And Swamiji, Paramarthanandaji will say this. So, initially, world dependence. I depend on the world for my Sukha Dukkha, for my Sukha. And then, slowly, maturity, I depend on God, Ishvara. Ishvara dependence, world dependence, Ishvara dependence. And then Advaita will take you one more step, huge step. It's called what? It is also Ishvara dependence, but Ishvara is not separate from me. Therefore, self-dependence. Ishvara dependence becomes self-dependence. It's all that for. And then what? Then comes Mat Paramaha. Mat Paramaha. Parama Purushartha, Moksha. So become one for whom the goal is Ishvara. Crystal clear. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paryupasate. tesham nityabhiktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. And then with that, so this bhakti will take me to mat paramaha. That clarity keeps on increasing. And so then Ishvara becomes the paramount, nothing other than Bhagavan I want. So Tivra Mumukshuhu, Mumukshu, Tivra Mumukshutvam, and then Sangha Varjitaha. So freedom from binding desires. So no longer I can have desires, but desires will always be there. Why desires will always be there? Because Ichha Shakti. Ichha is Shakti. And so we can't say no to desires. It is like saying no to Shakti. And so Ichha Shakti will be there. I can desire anything at any time. But none of them are binding desires. They cannot bite me. They cannot bite me if those desires are not satisfied. And so there was a wealthy business tycoon. So like Ambani or somebody, imagine. And the boy, his son is graduated from college. And so father had indicated, I'm going to buy you a car. Anyway, they have many cars, but the boy is not going to drive father's car and all. I want my own car. So father, the graduation ceremony and all was there, and father gifted him a car. It's a Benz, Mercedes Benz car, and nice, shiny, and it has this sports look. That the ceiling and all roof will go down, and then it can come up and all that, right? So that kind of car.
Convertible.
Convertible, correct. Convertible. Convertible car. And it's a pretty expensive car, obviously. But the son is shocked. Son is absolutely shocked and he says, what is this, Dad? What happened? This is a toy car. Because the car is this size, you can hold the car in the hand, 2 hands. A very good miniature of the exact car, the real car. And so father said, what happened? I told you I'll buy you a car. This is the car it is. It won't work. It won't work like that. The son will not accept all this nonsense. And why nonsense? Hey, when you were kids, you loved these kinds of cars, I thought. Yeah. That is, I know as a kid. Now I'm an adult, okay? And I'm not asking for these kinds of cars. Oh, I see. So the toys also, they change, with the type of toys we want. They're no longer these balloons and small toys. And so this newer and newer toys, this toy idea should go away. And then this moksha must be paramount, means it will swallow all other desires. Other desires will come and go, because moksha desire is there, big, waiting. Ishvara desire is there. Advaita Siddhi desire is there, waiting. And so that will make us Sangha Varjitaha, means free from binding desires. Okay. So just because we became adults doesn't mean we don't have any desires and all that, obviously. So the Nirvairaha Sarva Bhuteshu. Okay, be free from desires means what? Therefore, I start hating everything. Correct? I should not desire anything. That means I must hate everything. If I hate everything, I hate the world. That's also sometimes some people entertain this kind of idea, and Krishna cautions us. He says, Sarva Bhuteshu Nirvairaha Bhavatu. Nirvairaha means no hatred. Dvesha Varjitaha. Okay, you can't hate the world and all that. Nothing can be hated. Hatred is as much of a problem as what? Intense desire. Both are equal. Both are equally, they have equal repercussions. And so here is saying, this is Dvesha Varjitaha Bhavatu. And so you don't say, I hate politicians. You say politicians are not doing the job they're supposed to do, and everybody seems to hate politicians. What can we do next? This is the only question we can ask. And so they also are human beings. And yeah, they need to change, no doubt about that. And so let's become Tivra Bhaktas, Bhakti and prayer can change things, That's a way to change them also. So like that. And then therefore Udasina Bhavaha. Udasina means what? I am clear about what's what. I don't hate or intensely desire anything. And indifferent is also not a good statement. Sometimes they translate it as indifferent. Indifference can have negative connotations. I don't want to use the word. Udasina, Audasinium is used in our Shastram. Audasinium means this only. Sangavarchitatvam and Nirvairatvam. That is called Udasinatvam. Okay. There is no binding desire at all. And so then the love will express itself exactly as it should express. Very beautiful it is. Then what happens to such a person? Yaha. The way to read it is Yaha matkarma krid asti, yad paramaha asti, yad madbhaktaha asti, Yaha sangavarjitaha, Yaha nirvairaha sarvabhuteshu. No hatred towards anything or any person in this world, any jiva in this world, anything in this world. Yaha saha mam eti pandava. That person will gain me. That person will gain me. Here Swamiji makes a very beautiful observation. Will gain me means what? This Advaita Drishti Guru is needed to get that. And my only possibilities, I can dot the I's and cross the T's, I can follow Dharma, I can develop my Prasada Buddhi and Ishwararpana Buddhi. Okay? But Jnanam, when will a Guru come? Who will come? Well, all these things, I have no idea. Nobody has an idea about that. So then Swamiji says, Bhagavan has a department. Like you have a department, plumbing department, electrical department, security department, all these departments are there. And every company also has a different department. Like that, Bhagavan has a guru department, it seems. And so don't worry, once you do all this, once you develop your karma, yogatvam, then Bhagavan will send a guru. Guru will appear. Why? Because the mind is ready. When the mind is ready, the mind will begin to see things it never saw before. Correct? Happens in our life all the time. And so, Mam eti Pandava. Literal meaning is that person gains me, a Pandava. Let's translate this. Among all people, the one who does all actions for my sake, for whom I am paramount, who is devoted to me, comma, free from attachment and free from enmity or hatred, free from enmity, comes to me, O Arjuna. Among all people, the one who does all action for my sake, for whom I am paramount, who is devoted to me, free from attachment and free from enmity, comes to me, Arjuna. We'll conclude. Oh, the next one. So this concludes the thing. So let's chant the last conclusion here. Om Tat Sat.
Om Tat Sat.
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु
उपनिषत्सु
उपनिषत्सु
ब्रह्मविद्यायां
ब्रह्मविद्यायां
योगशास्त्रे
योगशास्त्रे
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
श्रीकृष्णार्जुनसंवादे
विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम
विश्वरूपदर्शनयोगो नाम
एकादशोऽध्यायः।
एकादशोऽध्यायः।
So this is the 11th chapter, which is called Vishwarupa Darshana Yoga. So here the word yoga means what? Topic, which has the topic of Vishwarupa Darshana, which is part of the Bhagavad Gita, which teaches Brahma Vidya and Yoga Shastram, and which is the content of the conversation between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, which is the essence of the Upanishads also. And this, I think we know the meaning of this sentence. So we'll conclude with that. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Thank you.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಗುರುಜಿ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ.
Thanks, Yogi.